Any interesting picks coming through. Of course, we spoke about the previous game, how it was important for Gigabyte Marines to have more of a straightforward matchup up against VP. At this point, maybe Isurus and LYN Gaming will mix things up a touch.
Might just see, well, there's something a little bit different because QQ more on the Nidalee. They're not going to give him the chance this time.
We saw a Nidalee game. Didn't really work out all that well on day 2 of the play-ins. As, had decent early game, but kind of ended up with that poke style not being enough to carry through for the win.
Yeah, they had a whole lot of poke. Jason top lane, and I believe it was Kate in the bottom side. There's a Lulu banned away now by Isurus, and speaking of Caitlyn, that's gone as well.
Which means the Ivern, you could still pick it here and build yourself a protection composition, but the Caitlyn, the Lulu, the 2 other pieces of that puzzle that we've seen the most, now not available. So Graves off the board. Elise is available if Isurus wants it.
They're going to go for the Ashe lock-in first. So, let's see what they end up building around this as well. You could still very well do the Ivern if it's not picked up here for Audi.
This is a pretty big takeaway from White Lotus. We have seen a couple of Ashe games, but he played Kalista earlier and looked fantastic on it. So wouldn't be surprised if he went that route. Obviously, with the Caitlyn banned already, it kind of now puts pressure onto LYN Gaming, but I think White Lotus has such a big champion pool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to ban the guy out, right?
Maybe rushing the Ashe this early isn't necessarily like stealing away the biggest pick for him.
Well, Audi will once again pick up the Lee Sin, and they also grab themselves a Karma for Genthix, and now it's back over to Isurus. What do they want to add to the Ashe?
I mean, I imagine it's going to be Elise in this rotation coming for Isurus. They could opt towards something like a Kha'Zix, but we've seen a lot less of it recently, especially when that Elise is available. Maybe they'll end up taking something that can snowball top. With the Renekton band as well, that's the typical duo with C paired with the Elise to be hyper effective, but there's a flex. We've obviously seen Fizz in the mid lane. We've also seen it in the top lane now. And we'll have to see what Jural picks into it.
Well, it was banned by Isurus the last time these 2 teams faced off, but now they've got their hands on the fish, and it's a very quick lock-in of the Nautilus for LYN Gaming.
So normally Fizz is a tank buster in the top lane, so LYN, they already have the Karma. Running the Nautilus potentially into the Fizz. We may see the double flex come from that Fizz.
Yeah, Karma is still a possibility.
So LYN may be picking themselves into a rougher situation, but certainly Nautilus has impact. Just because Fizz has a decent 1v1 setup against him doesn't mean Nautilus can't control team fights very effectively.
Now LYN decide to hit the support pool after this. They ban out the Nami. It's a bit shallower there, and the Kennen's banned by Isurus.
Yep, taking away that top lane and potentially AD carry threat. I mean, it's not likely to be in the top lane because of the fact Jural is likely on that Nautilus, unless we're expecting Karma to go mid lane as well, which we haven't seen so much of recently.
And then follows through with the Ahri ban. So clearly, LYN Gaming are holding out for the fact that this will be a top lane Fizz.
Yep. Isurus likely to pair something like a Zyra for newbie. His most played Nami, Karma, Lulu are the champions that are already banned out in this game, so you can't have that as an impact.
Yep, and there's a Lucian banned away. White Lotus, we've seen him hover it before. Is this the game? He pulls the vein.
Kalista, I think it'll end up being Kalista.
Oh, it's the rat.
Twitch is locked in. Similar kind of, unorthodox style as the Kalista, but very different in play pattern. Of course, dominant in exchanges where Twitch kind of ambushes up, comes out of stealth, just takes down somebody very quickly, and it's very difficult to play around. You've got to respect the ability for Twitch to just disappear. This won't be a Ziggs,
one way or the other.
Already an Ashe.
That is going to be the Thresh lock-in. So we have an Ashe Thresh lane. That's a lot of catch potential now on the side of Isurus. They can lay down the CC. They can find a quick pick, and that Twitch might not be as safe as he thinks.
Yeah, that's one way of dealing with a Twitch ambushing on you. Past 6, you got the box that will... I mean, it is still close range. Twitch can still kill you past that, so it's not that effective, but double side lane threat now with Fizz and LeBlanc. Where are we going mid lane for this last pick from LYN Gaming? Saya was the one talking about potential interesting picks. Syndra is available, which isn't that interesting, but is certainly a matchup. We just saw it work out very well for Paranoia, taking out Optimus on the other side. Wait.
It's going to be the flex
Karma
around.
So Karma mid lane with the flex between Nautilus to the bottom lane. Not something we've seen all that often. The Karma in the middle lane still crops up from time to time, just like the Lulu in the mid lane. But Seiya trying to run a defensive style, utility style mid laner that can theoretically get through some of the damage that LeBlanc has, but certainly not the same kind of assassination potential. We're going submarining on this one for LYN. The Twitch, the Shen, old LCK setup coming through here.
Yeah, protect the AD carry and take out the rest of the team. But for Isris Gaming, that pick composition could hinge on being able to melt through the Twitch before the rest of the team can come to the rescue. Be curious to see how the top lane matchup goes with Pride on that tank-busting Fizz trying to deal with the Shen. His laning phase been a little bit nerfed on this patch too. We haven't talked too much about patch notes, but it's not as strong as it once was.
Shen can resist a lot of that damage that Fizz outputs in the smaller trades, of course. The Twilight Shroud is a long cooldown comparative to a lot of Fizz's damage, so like, but for small sections of a fight, Fizz will struggle to output damage and then turn it back on in favor of Shen. But it's a matchup we don't see all that often. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Oh, yes, indeed. I think you're not the only one, Stress. It is the last game of the day, the last of these two groups before we'll get the redraw in. And both teams are playing with something to prove. Not a whole lot for the standings anymore, but North v South, you know it's always going to be hot.
Mid lane and support, hooks and chains on both sides all the way through. We'll see whether the Chain Warden is going to be enough to dictate the passage of play for this game. As you said, North versus South on the Latin America representatives. Here we go. Isris Gaming, LYN Gaming. See if we'll end up with a 2-0 for LYN in this quote-unquote series, or whether we'll end at a 1-1 for the MSI Play-In stage between these two teams.
Well, Isris have a lot to prove after dropping it early on in the play-in stage. They managed to get back at least one win. Another one would definitely help their case to prove their region definitely strong. But LYN Gaming have had a lot of disappointment in this tournament. Maybe they can end on another high note. It was a long, drawn-out game earlier in the day, but they've been rested up. They've had a little bit of time to settle back down, and we'll see if they can take the win here today.
Yeah, Seiya spoke to Shox earlier today, talking about how it was disappointing to them. They were expecting to perform better this tournament, and I think when you look at it for a player like Seiya, who he's been around quite a while, same with White Lotus, they'll say to themselves, okay, it was a disappointment, but it's better to have this disappointment for us now, when we still have a split to go away and learn and figure out what went wrong. He talked about re-watching a lot of the games here and learning a lot from them, and then it prepares you for the Worlds qualifiers, potentially later on in the year. If you can fix the problems now, you won't really be too bothered about not qualifying this time if you're getting into the World Championships in about 6 months, you know, when it's ready.
Yeah, that's the eyes on the prize. LYN Gaming, historically, they nearly qualified for Worlds the last time around, and looking like they could potentially do it again. But as we get into the swing of things this game, Pride with the hard leash for QQ more. That at least could be pretty fundamental to this early game. Big potential for Isris Gaming. Double dip in there with Spiderling coming in as Audi clears out on his Raptor camp. Definitely keep an eye on both these junglers, right? Let's talk about Lee Sin, quintessential in the early game. See what he can get done, but where does he focus his attention?
I mean, for Shen, top lane isn't exactly the easiest gank, but Pride, of course, doesn't have Flash. So if there's enough damage that lands onto the Fizz, maybe you can get yourself a kill up in the top side, but it's a difficult one.
Of course, that Playful Trickster.
Trickster does give him the ability to get away. Bot lane, it's if a hook lands realistically, that's the only way you're getting aggressive. And Karma, I don't really see Emp going into a position that they can punish the LeBlanc on, so it might very well be QQ more that comes out with a first aggressive play in the game.
Coming around the side. Audie's not too far away, but may not be there in time to react. Looks like QQ more is biding his time, waiting in the shadows. Karma's a very safe pick, but there's a reason. Oh, QQ more. Oh, nothing connects.
Yeah, nothing connects on that one. Hawkshot came through to just try and track Audie. Now the cocoon has landed.
Got two right now.
Emp didn't have the cooldowns available. Couldn't close the distance to put the damage down.
And now that means that Audie is going to have free reign to try and clear out a little bit of vision here. He decides to go for the Scuttle Crab. Instead, he looks like he wants to go into the jungle of QQ more, who pops that Scryer's Bloom at just the right moment to see him coming up.
Yeah, did just get caught on the corner of the ward as well, I believe. And LYN, this has been a slower paced opening to this game than a lot of the other ones we've had today, but Hook finally lands Flay instantly back from newbie.
Yeah, we've had some seriously action-heavy games, and something settled a little bit back down. A little different. Neither team wants to give up the Ghost early on. White Lotus and Genthix are pushed up against this Ashe Thresh lane.
And now we're getting to the point where White Lotus can actually start abusing this vision and the deception that can come from playing Twitch in the bottom lane. Now you're at a point where if White Lotus drops back in the bush, you have to respect if there's no ward in there, Kindus and Nubi can't push forward.
Oh, we've seen Audi do this before. Pops the blast cone into the brush, starts the back, but it's very hard to gank when they're that far under towers, so looks like that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah, you can see that Isurus pushed under their tower, no real path into the lane there. Pride looking for the roam himself. No ward on the top side from Seiya, so, I mean, it's a difficult one again to get in, and you can see Pride with no flash means it's a one-way trip, so it doesn't want to go aggressive, but just trying to control and track Audi as much as they can. They've used Hawkshot, they've brought Pride out of the lane, just trying to find that Lee Sin at any moment.
Here's QQ waiting underneath the tower. There's the Lantern. Will they be able to bring him all the way in? They've caught Genthix on a line. First blood happens in the mid lane while it's all going down, but Genthix is gonna be number 2. Flashing and flaying is Nubi, but he's looking for White Lotus, who's gonna be able to pull off the invis. And it's a 1-for-1 trade across the map.
So we said earlier that M probably isn't going to be in a position that he can get picked off, but Audi came in through the back of the lane, I believe, and just ends up going right on towards that LeBlanc. We'll actually take a look at the kill here. Came through the back of the lane, Emp got locked down by Seiya, and Audi, smites the minion.
That
Huge
was sick.
through. That was beautiful.
When you think you're safe in front of a minion.
That was beautiful.
Well done, Audi.
And Audi didn't use his flash. Like, that was impressive. I like that.
Oh, good job. Seiya set him up. Audi knocked him down. Got the first blood gold. That's critical on Lee Sin. All the same, down to the bot, Isurus Gaming was able to pull off the play as well. Could have gotten 2, but White Lotus was able to get the ambush off back to tower.
If he keeps up plays like that, this skin might get renamed from to Audi. This Lee Sin. I don't think that's going to catch on that well.
I mean, if you can,
maybe.
How many times do you see something like that happen?
Well,
you could name it after him.
Let's see it again here. I don't think it's going to quite catch on like the insect did.
Now, back in the day when it was eye-popping to pull off something like that, now it's pretty much 101 for anyone who wants to try and play Lee Sin.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about when you see different compositions over time, and when people go back to talking about how, things were in Season 3 and onwards, and how there was a lot of these mechanical outplays. Well, as you said, every jungler worth their salt right now can insect playing on Lee Sin. Like, this isn't something that only one guy is figuring out. So it's very interesting how, like, the new breed of players comes through, and that's where we're seeing old school players like White Lotus, Seiya still hanging, but there are these new names coming through that are really making a name for themselves. You look at, the last game, Blasting, showing up well. I wonder whether anyone from Isurus will put on the same kind of performance.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say, right? Because you have had a team that has only been able to pick up the 1 win, but it's been critical to look at, like, the top side of the map. Pride trying to step up, Amp as well. Seen a few good plays out of QQ. More Kindless and Nubi have been the ones that have actually kind of been on the back foot, but right now, against this more unconventional lane, they're holding their own well.
Yeah, and a lot of it was the fact QQ more comes down to the bottom side. They utilized the Lantern gank into the lane, and they're able to get that first kill. But here you go. White Lotus drops out of vision, puts a ward down. They know roughly where they are.
But Isurus are all up top here. They're stacked. Audi knows something's going on.
Yeah, Audi senses there's an invade coming. Checks the first push.
All right, let's see what comes of that in a little bit. Head back down to the bottom side. There we go.
Collapsing too.
Here's Giral. Oh, he's going to get stopped up by the Cocoon. Can they get through him right now? Trying to gank the TP here. Fish was on, but in comes Audi. Repels up. It is a 3v2, but they flash for Giral, and they get him. QQ is going to fall. He gets the smite out for the health, just biding some time as Seiya takes him down, but Pride had some backup in the form of Emp coming through, so Audi can't keep on going.
Even though it was only a little fish that caught Giral, it really ended up putting him down, and you can see QQ fell at the same time. There was a faster group from LYN to start things off. Seiya coming up from the lane. Emp couldn't quite get there for the beginning of the fight, but it took so long really to finish that one off that both trade 1-for-1 overall. Very even games so far. Every time we've had a kill for one side, the other has picked it up and traded evenly.
Yeah, that's why we have the gold dead even at 8 minutes. Now, there's a Mountain Drake on the map, as we're just seeing, and it's going to take a little while for either team to try and get to that one, but it could be one of the tipping points in this game. Bottom side, Isurus Gaming have had the number of their LYN counterparts for the time being, and White Lotus is going to want to get rolling on this switch. That's the cornerstone of this whole strategy.
Yeah, and you can't go aggressive if Isurus are under their tower.
It's a little hard to tower dive at this point in the game, that's for sure.
That's where it's come from, a lot of the denial of what White Lotus wants to do. But now that they've got the Ash Arrow, maybe we'll see Kindless and Newbie go more aggressive. Look for the aggressive plays themselves.
Very possible.
Remains to be seen, though.
Well, we got a lot of leagues still to play out. That's for sure. Seiya gets himself the blue buff, keeping the vision as clean as they possibly can. Be a while before any team really ventures out to try and make the big play on the Drake. Very careful, cautious kind of game. Still a few plays back and forth, but well matched it seems these two teams are. Yeah,
and for those of you joining us, anticipating the draw between the play-in teams and their round 2 opponents, so potentially TSM or Flash Wolves, that'll be taking place after the conclusion of this game.
Yeah, don't go anywhere after this game. You thought there's no more action, you were sorely mistaken.
We get to finally find out.
Been talking it up for a while now.
It's an interesting one because you have Flash Wolves and TSM. Like, I wouldn't want to face either team. So it's kind of like pick.
That's why you have to ask that preference of, all right,
yeah,
hum and a han about it. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Both of them been very dominant a little while and big names to kind of contend with. It's going to be hard, but both these teams, unfortunately, going to have to watch from the sidelines as that all goes down. But they get one last hurrah against each other, the North v South battle. Nobody wants to give this one up early. We haven't seen the teams really go all ham and crazy. They have been playing it out just like they would. Maybe a lot of kills in some of the other games, but now it's all careful. Oh, Ash Arrow to the face, but they're bringing the Shen. In comes Giral. Newbie gets the flay on back, and they turn it around as they are under tower without a whole lot of recourse. Here comes Emp and Pride. The big carrot is not going to find its mark.
Yeah, Easter was a few weeks ago, a little bit late on that play coming down for Pride. They do defend the tower, and LYN didn't actually get any kills from it, so you can still say that the advantage does go kind of over to Isurus for holding, but look, teleport advantage is now in favor of Giral. And that's that important thing about playing Shen at this point. You've got that second global presence. Pride used his TP, used his ultimate, so a lot of his effectiveness is now reduced for the next few minutes.
Yeah, gonna be critical now. Kindless is going to get tanked up here. The damage there.
Oh,
Newbie intercepting the hook from Genthix. Saves the life of his AD carry with a whole lot of venom. Stacks on to Kindless. That could have been trouble, but the 2v2 does not result in a kill down bottom side. Qmore is looking for an in on the mid, but he doesn't know. He's on a ward.
Yeah, this area has been warded up for quite some time now in favor of LYN Gaming. So Qmore, every time he tries to come around the side, just gets spotted out and Seiya drops back in the lane.
Could find Giral here. Cocoon to the face, but Adi was there as well. So you got to be careful if you're Pride right now. Didn't want to go too far forward. Once again, still doesn't have a flash as he went the Ignite build. We normally see the Fizzes at the top lane go. Still working his way towards the Trinity Force as well, so he's not quite at the power spike he wants to be yet. Shen has been able to match him, even if he's fallen behind on the farm.
Yeah, one kill for that Fizz. You kind of expect Shen to fall behind, as you're alluding to there. You would normally see that in this matchup. Of course, Giral has the ability to kind of get around the map faster. Did use the TP to get topside, so doesn't have teleport advantage to play with. That might end up costing LYN Gaming, but we'll see how they end up playing out the next few minutes.
Yeah, LYN definitely want to try and stall until the White Lotus is really up to the top tier form he can be in. You can see defensive builds all across the board with, you know, Mercury Treads finished first for Seiya. And that mid Karma is something we haven't seen too much of. When you're playing the Karma, though, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, also when you're going up against an Elise, you got Chains from LeBlanc, Ash Arrow, Thresh Hook, trying to just get any of the crowd control reduced as much as possible. Get a little bit of that magic resist as well. A lot of magic.
Dragon steals today, Stress. Are we going to see another one? It looks like they're just going to actually flex their muscles in the direction of LYN Gaming. The Dragon's going to reset.
White Lotus even back down to the bottom lane. Was trying to push the lane out at the same time. Neither team wanting to commit. Again, there's like that sense of pride on the line here between two regions that are hotly contest, where performances against each other. So it's not quite like the same one where VP and Gigabyte Esports are like, it doesn't matter whether we've got 45 kills in this game, we're just playing for first spot. So for ISG right now, holding on to this top side for Pride.
Yep. Pride is going to be able to keep pushing it back for a while now, and it's a bit of a holding pattern for both teams. But you'd think that the early game presence for Isurus, it's got to be what they've got to do. You have a LeBlanc. We saw what could happen last time when Gigabyte got up to speed with Optimus. Emp, he's yet to really leave that mid lane for too much, and he did get taken down once, so he's already starting to look a little bit shakier.
There's a lot of wards bot side for ISG, trying to track anytime White Lotus and Genthix get out of the lane. Same with Audi, trying to track him coming down to the lane. So, I mean, ISG have full focus on stopping a lot of what LYN Gaming want to do, but they haven't been overly successful. Look at the line of pink wards all the way through the inventory of LYN Gaming. As soon as they manage to get them set up, they can start taking control of some of these areas of visions.
Yeah. For the moment, though, you can see if the vision toggle goes down, they really don't have too much sight on it. Warded up in the River Rush, so the teleport would be the only gank opportunity, and Pride does not quite have it up and available yet. Seems like the focus is more on the mid, though.
Chiral has Stand United available. I thought that Audi was going in aggressive as a 3 versus 1, but now he's been spotted out continuously through this entire path.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this whole place is lit up like a Christmas tree. Audi's heading in to the blue side jungle with Say out. Should be able to take away this red, though, since there isn't too many people there, but they're mobilizing to try and defend against the bottom side push.
This game is set up for the holidays all wrong. We had Easter late, they're early for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what you want. Somebody's going to have Thanksgiving now, like in July.
Yeah, this is the whole forest from Nightmare Before Christmas with all the different doors you go through.
I haven't watched Nightmare Before Christmas.
Wow, that is a big confession.
I know
what we're watching next week.
Oh, at least it's not Big Trouble in Little China.
That is the worst inside joke ever.
It is.
Anyways,
you love that
moving away. I do love that movie. Audi was loving a chance to go down bottom, but unfortunately, he's just spotted so many times that it's easy for Isserus to kind of just play back, hold the line. LYN really want to make moves early. It's kind of surprising considering they don't necessarily have to with the way this Twitch could just be a late game threat.
But this is the type of move that all of those wards from Isserus were trying to protect from, where White Lotus drops out of the lane, comes towards mid lane, and M has to be careful.
He's on the Gunblade.
Oh, we used this double. Oh, well, okay, Say is not in lane either.
Yeah, it's fine.
So it is okay.
But now it's LYN's chance to go for round 2 on the Mountain Drake. Not a whole lot of opportunity for Isserus to respond. The duo lane had backed away. Everyone else is heading up towards the top side, so this one goes freely over. But let's see what Isserus can get for it as a result. They're committing hard up top.
If they can actually get that, this is one of the things you do is you attack the Shen. I've seen this a lot with the prevalence of Shen. You just go in. Suddenly, nobody can really group with him. Yes, there is a Karma that has TP, but not really able to.
Oh, that was a long range lantern there as LYN Gaming tried to get the pick off, but Kindless had the help of Newbie, and Audi even got pulled back on the hook. First Tower Blood's going to go Isserus' way, yeah.
The race was on, and it was just enough from Kindless and Newbie to delay LYN Gaming. You can see still half the health of the tower with no wave pushing up towards it. Means we might see Isserus try and take the 2-for-1 exchange. 3 minions in this wave, plus a wave behind. If they can just, you know, get some damage down on the tower now, it might just be enough to take the 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, they got the Fizz, they've got the Elise. We'll have to check back up and see how fast they can do it.
Get
they can get this tower. What a great trade for Isserus. They might have given up the dragon, but they're still pushing objectives.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what they wanted. Jiral used the Stand United to get out of the lane, try to make a play on the bottom side. That gives now 2 towers over to Isserus. Pride, heavily up in farm, has the 1 kill, now has a long lane to work with against this Shen if they end up going there.
And on that Trinity Force, that Fizz starts to become a real threat right now, not just to the squishy targets, but even to the tanks. You can see Jiral is going to have to play a little bit further back on that Shen matchup, but he's not playing the lane, he's playing all across the map.
Speaking of squishy targets, QQ Moore is like maybe thinking he's at the same spot that Napon was in. And as I say that, he actually rethinks the entire strategy and goes Aegis of the Legion. So, you know, we were thinking he was going towards a lot of glass cannon damage style that normally you'll see an Elise go to if they get 3 kills early and just go out and carry this game. I prefer tank Elise. You do become a cocoon bot, but certainly if you are far enough ahead on Elise, it is possible to carry.
Hey, I mean, sometimes you can catch the pick. All you need to do is hit the 1 onto the right target at the right time. That can turn things in your favor, and it's not like they're lacking for magic damage elsewhere. Emp on the LeBlanc. Still not able to find the same amount of pick success, but he really hasn't been going too far. He's been kind of staying a little closer to home in that mid lane. Maybe things start to change here, but I have a feeling that Pride's going to be the one taking the Rift Herald buff.
That's almost a certainty at this point. Pride, once he gets this, becomes real difficult to deal with. Jiral can't really do too much about it. Neither can Saya, because Saya can just clear the wave underneath, kind of.
Yeah, that's part of the risk of playing that Karma in the mid lane, right? You give up a damage threat, you do have some clear wave, or some safe wave clear, but you don't really have a whole lot else going. And everything in the build kind of goes to helping the Twitch out. White Lotus is going to be the centerpiece of this team.
See, we saw 2 Karma builds, really, when Karma was in every single game as a mid laner.
Oh, those days.
Yeah. You'd either go the Ardent Censor, the Athenes, you'd kind of give over the utility, or you'd go Death Cap and just make the most of the AP, get a lot of damage, improve the shields with the actual amount.
Yeah, the Mantra Q flies, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's just Karma. Oh, that's AP mid Karma, and now my health bar's gone.
Yeah, this is Seiya being a lot more of a team player at this point. I mean, they got Shen as well.
Yeah, Q-Bar's doing the same thing, though. I mean, this is the level that the teams are at. They're not going to go full solo Q, even though it doesn't matter for the standings anymore, because they want to play it out on the big stage as best as they possibly can. This is for pride. You're going up north versus south, Latin America teams facing off against one another. In LYN Gaming, they have the lead already. They want to make that 2-0, but Isris are really taking it to them in this early and mid game.
GBM would argue with you that you can get Karma mid, you go AP, you just crush people.
There are not a lot of mid laners like GBM though, Stress.
There are.
He is 1 in a million.
Unfortunately, didn't see a lot of play this split in the European LCS as a member of Vitality, but
came up once or twice.
Yeah,
that's about it.
But LYN Gaming, they might have caught Gentix.
Ash Arrow's into it, but he is tanky. He's got a shield from Dural, and instantly Isris Gaming bail out, but Pride didn't get the memo right now, and White Lotus picking up a kill.
White Lotus, the important member, gets that kill. Dural, that's
that hook.
Maybe not the target you want to hook in.
Well, let's see if they can finish somebody off. White Lotus going a little bit low here, but he's invisible. No way for Isris to really keep tabs on him now, and it's a 5v4 for just a few more seconds. LYN Gaming, they want to get this one. Ooh, that was quick, and now the fight turns right back around. It's Adi who gets his counterpart. QQ is down, back to Fountain. Newbie going low, Newbie going down. White Lotus is the one that finishes that kill off, and now it's going to be mid-tower for LYN Gaming.
You can see just how much LYN can get done. They have the numbers advantage, they get the good engage, and they get out of there before Pride was back available. Now he's up. Yes, he has TP, but it is just too little too late for Isris to hold on to that play. Still QQ not alive. Newbie had died as well. That was a much better play out of LYN Gaming. They've been struggling a little to get into this game, but finally they end up taking the counter engage on that. Dural goes in with the rest of the team, and White Lotus can end up cleaning up 2 kills.
That's essential for White Lotus right now. He'd been relegated pretty much to the farm in the clear, but he gets himself those kills, and all of a sudden the damage threat starts to multiply. LYN Gaming with 5 with that tower pushing and objective pushing dragon. Looking a little bit better right now, and the gold might still be dead on even, but things are starting to be a little worrisome for Isris Gaming. They're going to have to find a fight to turn it around.
Yeah, the difficulty is Pride isn't significantly far enough ahead that his side lane pressure is unstoppable. Yes, he had the glimpse of the void coming through, but there's 3 people closing in on him now.
Yep, has to Playful Trickster out. A lot of wards for LYN Gaming in this bottom jungle. Make sure it's nice and clear, and that should be another dragon going the way of LYN Gaming.
And he went in 1 versus 4. Pride went in 1v4, the rest of the team were out. It looked like everything was okay.
Too bad he can't lantern multiple people, huh? Oh, that doesn't need it.
That would be very broken.
You've seen some broken stuff on release a few times. Usually gets nipped in the bud right away, but
I don't, no.
Maybe not that
Nothing on release has ever been over.
I got 2 words for you, Ziggy out, but that's not relevant right now. Gentix is gonna get caught, but he tanks the line, and QQ is not tanky enough. Teleport channel completes. Dural taunting forward, forcing Emp to distort back and away. Another quick pickup, and LYN Gaming, they're finding the pick comp right where they need it.
And now they're looking for the dragon you were talking about, Devin. They want to get that Ocean Drake mountain already. Just, again, augmenting what LYN Gaming can do here. Pride can't get in the side. Pride actually TP'd in during that exchange. Couldn't get enough done.
Unfortunately, no. Just not enough kill threat right now, and there's so much protection for White Lotus. Let's see how it all began. Ash Arrow comes back with Gentix.
Yeah, Arrow came through. Gentix kind of just absorbs it. He knows he's a Nautilus. His job is done at this point. White Lotus manages to get out. TP completed for Pride, and then there was nothing else to be had, so now they lose all sense of side lane again. Although LeBlanc on the top side does have teleport herself, can at least output damage, but Seiya's not going to be pushed up that far to actually take a trade, and I don't think Dural will either. Dural doesn't really care that much about the LeBlanc at this point. Spirit Visage was already completed and can kind of just absorb that damage.
Yeah, this is the point in the game where the Shen just becomes really, really annoying, in all honesty. He's able to hold whatever wave you tend to throw at him. Pride just doesn't quite have the kill threat to be able to 1v1 him, even with Glimpse of the Void. It's difficult. It's also dangerous to push up that far because they'd already taken the early 2 towers up in the top, but they haven't gotten anything else on the map.
Right.
And this is where LYN are covering.
And this is the kind of position where Jural can actually be, is he knows that despite being down in CS, Fizz isn't strong enough under tower to be able to all-in him unless Jural makes a catastrophic error. So he's able to just farm that wave up, not push up too far. Oddie, however,
They can shut him down here. Through the Shen shield they go. He might kick the spider, but QQ more gets one for himself.
that was a little bit of an over-aggressive position from Oddie. It was still in his jungle, but you have to respect the fact Karma was topside, Shen was bot side. Nobody else could regroup with him.
No TP advantage here.
Trying this.
Oh, that is bold. However, they turn it on. Look for Genthix here. He's tanky enough to hold on.
White Lotus.
No Stand United. White Lotus coming in for an ambush.
Trying to line
Wide
it up.
side, and he sprays and prays all over Isurus Gaming. Looking for Emp now. The Karma is almost going to finish the job, but White Lotus gets a final hit. Seiya trying to back away, but he's gone down. Flashing over is going to be Kindless, but he falls as well. That's 2 kills for 2. If you count the Lee Sin on top of it all, LYN turn it right around.
Yeah, and LYN now going to try and push through mid in exchange for their bot tower. White Lotus trying to just line up that spray and pray, gets a good amount of shots all through Isurus. And I mean, Kindless tried to trade with him at the end, but then you realize everybody's just shielding him. The heal, the amount of health that's coming back through, and LYN, they're trying to get tower. They will get it, back themselves away. Isurus don't have too many options here. Oh, Oddie.
They do have one.
Fight he didn't want, though.
So, Pride can dive under tower at this point, but he had a whole line of minions, and Seiya was and Audi were already a little bit too low in that one. So Pride's able to finish off a tower. That gets them back some more gold here, but the real threat on your screen right now, White Lotus, with all those shields, all that protection, he can just open up the machine gun fire onto Isurus Gaming, and that's a threat that they're going to have to respect.
It looked like Audi chose the fight. Now, Pride will be able to get away in the long lane. It looked like Audi chose to fight against Pride.
Now, we caught the tail end of it. It's hard to tell.
All he had to do was clear the wave out underneath the tower, which would have been fine. But it looked like he thought he had the all-in damage. If we do end up seeing it again, we'll get the answer to that question.
We talked about making catastrophic errors. You know, sometimes, even though the stakes aren't particularly high for this game, those can happen. Here it is again.
So, is it Pride going aggressive or Audi going in? Because Audi surely can get out of this. I guess not at that point. Audi didn't have flash available, tried to kick. Oh, there's that.
QQ more managed to get one quickly picked up. Lantern, no one's going to be able to take that. Honeyfruit getting in the way of it all. And just like that, it's a 5v4. Emp around the side. But you can see that LYN Gaming, they're not keen to go back in for this one. And Isurus, they may not be taking the Baron, but they're protecting it.
And Isurus are ahead because of the lead that Pride has opened up against Jural. They've also got that extra tower that is in their favor. They're down in the bot lane though, but that's not really compensating for the now 70 CS lead that Fizz has over Shen.
Yeah, this is the critical thing. So here was the start of it as we were in the other replay.
Gets the arrow. Easy pick off there. They would have taken an arrow on Genthix as well if it had hit him, but
yeah, that's about as textbook as it gets to layer your CC right on top of a squishy. And make no mistake, despite the shields, Seiya definitely not expecting that one. Pride still working on the bottom side. I mean, this is looking great for Isurus right now. It's still anyone's game, but LYN, they do have a very predictable engage pattern with that Twitch.
Yeah, but the thing is now Jural can't actually fight him in the lane. 2-level advantage for Pride. He's now got the rank 3 ultimate, and anywhere that isn't under a tower, there is such a significant gold difference between the two of them. 3,000 gold.
It's close to a flame horizon at this point.
Yeah, so Jural has to allow this to push back towards the tower, not take too much damage, but battle around what Pride is doing.
That Fizz is so pushed up right now, but he's perfectly fine. And there's not a whole lot that LYN can get. They're kind of up on this mid lane, but because it's such a long lane with the towers all taken down, Isurus has been playing way back.
Yeah, they have been sitting back in this, allowing Pride to do the work. Just contesting vision around the fringes of River. It's enough for now. I mean, you know it's a Karma on the opposite side, so the actual damage is going to start falling off. Working towards a Rabidance as a third item will kind of allow some poke damage, but you don't really look at Karma as the same threat later on. It's all about that Twitch getting the damage out. Yes, the shields will keep Twitch alive, but if you can pick him off, if you can get that kill, maybe that's enough to just take the fight for Isurus.
Just might be. And they haven't had to pick him off to really find success, but he's still going to be a latent threat. The longer this game goes, that Twitch is going to be deadly. As Jumar, oh, he thought he could take the lantern, but Adi kicked him away and stood right on top of it. That's going to force the rappel up, and he's not getting away. That's kill number 5 for White Lotus.
And that's probably going to be Baron now for LYN, because if Isurus want to contend with this, they have to bring Pride over, which means Jural comes out of the lane as well. But they're going to go with Nubian. Arrow connects on White Lotus, but nobody is there to damage.
They just can't do it. Teleport coming in for Pride, but is it going to be too late right now as White Lotus with the Shen shield on forces Kindless to flash away, and everybody nopes out of this one.
But Pride canceled his TP. He's getting an inhibitor tower at the same time.
They gotta buy some time right now. In goes Emp trying to chase down White Lotus as the Baron keeps going on, but they're being harassed constantly.
7K.
Pride's still pushing this one. They might have a chance after all. That's the tower. Let's see if they can get a few more kills. In goes the taunt flash from Jural onto Kindless. They pulled him back and around. The smite goes down on the Baron, but the Fizz will get the inhibitor.
Yeah, and LYN are still continuing this fight.
White Lotus got to get these kills. Oh, the hook comes in. He's going to be able to QSS it out. He takes him down. A couple of kills, but that's not quite enough. Now Pride, can he get out? Secret Agent Fizz, he's going right back in. Gets one more shot, and he turns to Seiya. The damage, Seiya has got so much to finish him off, but that was messy. At 30 minutes in, it's a downed inhibitor and bot for a Baron buff.
Yeah, Seiya needed a little extra time there because Pride would have life-stealed his way back up, but Isurus come out of that with the inhibitor down. They will get the mid tower as well, but LYN have the Baron buff on Adi and Seiya still. It's not exactly the Baron buff on 5 they were looking for, and that's all because Isurus just kept the fight going long enough. I'm sure we'll take another look at the replay soon.
Yeah, that was intense right there, and it was all a ruse to keep Pride available, pushing on the bottom side of the map, and despite the fact that they were down in members, it was 3 trying to harass constantly because of Pride canceling his TP there. LYN will be able to secure themselves a dragon on top of it, but make no mistake about it, that is a flustering move. Isurus Gaming able to play and honestly confund them a little bit.
Yeah, Isurus still ahead in the gold for now. Baron buff will allow LYN to catch back up. That's the 4th tower of the game going their way. Isurus have done a good job of stopping a lot of the aggressive plays that LYN want to make, and that's what's holding their lead for them. Pride, with that massive gold lead in the top lane, is proving difficult for LYN with this composition. Karma can't do it on her own. You can't really face off against that Fizz's Shen, and that's what's making it tough. White Lotus is doing so much work in the fights that is what's keeping them around.
Yeah, a little bit like what we saw in the last game where there's one big damage threat on the side of either team. Maybe a little bit more balanced here with Isurus, but that Fizz is still nigh impossible 1v1, and he's still in the mid right now, ignoring Jural.
He might get caught out here though, because look at where Isurus, look at where LYN are collapsing from.
He's taking tower shots. He doesn't care right now. He's gonna get this.
This is silly.
Oh, Pride.
He got it. Now he's gonna move towards bot lane because he knows that's the way that he is more likely to get out, but all of LYN are collapsing.
Prepare for the chase.
Tricky Fizz gets the slow, gets away from the hook. He's out of there. Oof. Safe.
Talk about pulling a rabbit out of your hat. That was a nice trick from Pride. Looks to back away, taking down another tower, trading for the inner that LYN committed up top. Very conventional moves from LYN, but Isurus, they are definitely showing us some magic.
I don't know what type of birthday parties you had as a kid, but the magician did not throw the rabbit at the audience after pulling it out of the hat, and it certainly wasn't a demonic one like that. You might have wanted to increase the budget on the entertainer for that one.
Hey, sometimes you gotta go with who you can get at the last minute, Stress. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. All right, this is still, I mean, it's incredible how even this game is when you look at White Lotus 7-1 now. He's got the frozen mallet on the Twitch as well. Like, nobody's getting away from this guy. But clearly no one wants to fight him, so they just send the Fizz to do the dirty work.
And nobody can deal with the Fizz. Now GA available too. It's kind of a game where now LYN have to just force fights with a composition that isn't great at forcing fights. I mean, they have the hook, they have the kick, and they have a stealthed up, ambushing White Lotus. But Isurus have this side lane presence that is just going to relentlessly push, push, push. With teleport available for Pride, he drops back away from Vision. He knows that LYN could be looking for him, could be trying to collapse onto the top side, so the rest of his team just back away. Hawkshot comes up to try and scout the jungle of LYN, and Pride is doing a fantastic job this game.
Able to outpush Giral on that Shen, who's really only sitting on the Tiamat. And given a hard time to this LYN Gaming squad, who's just trying to find a way to conventionally close this one out. They already got the one win against Isurus, but Isurus have honestly found their footing since that 0-3 run that they had in the first day of Group B in the play-ins here.
They have. They've started really coming alive, but you saw LYN giving the respect to Pride again, bringing Audi up to the top side. Knew White Lotus would be vulnerable on his own, so bring the jungler up to try and get the 2 versus 1. But it's been a back and forth one, and one exchange like that at this point in the game, say Pride was there, gets the 1v1 on White Lotus, Isurus just swing around, take more objectives and look to close, but LYN, they're the ones pushing for this. They're 800 gold down, but their composition, if they can get a kill, like if they can get a straight up fight, White Lotus can get so many kills.
And Isurus definitely know that right now. They do not want to give it away. Hook. Oh, in goes Audi, kicking back, and Newbie's a dead man right now. Hold in by Genthix, and White Lotus claims kill number 8 now. The push is on in the mid. Kindlet's going to get knocked up. In goes Genthix. They're looking for more. Audi coming down to charge the back. Redemption comes down, but they're turning it around. Isurus Gaming. White Lotus opens up fire, and he's got enough for 1. Does he have enough for 2 and 3? They have to turn it back around. LYN Gaming, meanwhile, inside their own base, are losing out. Giral to Pride, but there is no more defense for Isurus Gaming. In comes QQ more back up off the Guardian Angel, and that will be the end of that. Now it is going to be base for LYN.
Yeah, LYN are going to be able to take out the inhibitor tower. It's not quite enough to close the game right now. 2 seconds on Newbie, and if Pride can get back, they can defend, but look at Giral now running him down. This is a very tense last-minute situation. Pride tried to take the trade. He's got teleport available, but can't get there quite in time. It's only Newbie to survive for 10 more seconds. TB comes through. Taunt won't quite land. They're going to try and hold on.
He's got Seiya here, but that shield is just too big, and now a teleport coming in for Giral. Pride, he may be able to 1v1 just about anybody, but 1v4, do not like those odds, and LYN reigns supreme. GG!
It wasn't quite enough. Pride split pushing on the bottom side, trying desperately, but this time Giral played it a lot safer. He didn't lose his life. That could have been the end of that one, but gets the runaround on Fizz for so long. White Lotus finally gets the damage in the fight, closes it out, and that's a 2-0 scoreline for the LLNs. LYN over Isurus Gaming from Latin America South.
Shake hands, hugs, and all around. Might be a rivalry, but brothers in arms all the same. Got to give some credit. Isurus finding an unconventional way to stay in the game in the face of a fed Twitch. But once that spray and pray just started rolling, that was all said and done. And LYN Gaming can take a bow to get the victory in their final game here at the play-ins.
Yeah, you see White Lotus. So many of the compositions for LYN were built around that guy. This time he's even like, hey, Sia, you're playing Karma. You're going to support me for
Shields
as much as possible.
I need shields and